Hey guys, Flabaliki here today and welcome back to Cities Skylines. Today is pretty much all a time lapse. This goes for like 31-ish minutes. I just figured, because we haven't been having that many episodes lately, I figured that, let's just spend this whole episode just doing a lot, getting a lot of stuff done, expanding the city a lot, and filling in a lot of these areas near where we've already expanded, just to sort of get things moving along. I also wanted to make that brand new tram line we built actually be a little bit more useful, a little bit more usable than just having a stop at the end and the beginning of it. So that's kind of what we're doing. This part is just filling in a lot of spaces, like this area here, for example. We're sort of just putting in roads and filling it out. And you can see I'm actually building a larger road here that's just going to bridge across onto these smaller islands, sort of incorporating a lot of these little areas that are nearby that we haven't actually got around to using yet. And that's how the other theme is, like, we've been trying to do, well, I mean, I feel like a lot of you guys think that I've forgotten that, this was like a campus DLC city. We should be doing like some campuses and all that kind of stuff. I haven't forgotten, but every single time it's just like we don't have enough people. We need more people. So I think this is a good episode to sort of start boosting that up a bit more. I think by the end of this, we end up around like maybe 40-something thousand people. So we do increase a bit. And I think it's going to keep trending upwards as well, which should be quite handy. So all these little islands, we're using the small little single lane roads, or not single lane roads, but single tile roads, just to sort of fill in as much as we can. And then I do quite a bit of manual placement of buildings throughout a lot of this as well, just because I wanted to get them a lot of buildings closer together and all that kind of stuff. Make sure make them feel like really tight knit and all that, like it's really packed in as much as we can get them. I still do need to go back and probably get a bunch of level 1 European buildings for Rico, so that I didn't replace the default game ones, because that is still a problem that we have when zoning stuff in a little bit. So it's a little bit messy here and there still, but it's something that we're definitely working towards. Even having said that, we still get a lot of zoning going on, a lot of buildings being placed. Some more low density, some more high density all over the place as well. We also, and the interesting thing is, I was really curious to see how the traffic and all that would actually handle expanding this whole area of the city so much more. Like we added a lot of new houses and a lot of new roads into this area. And surprisingly, it held up pretty good. Obviously, the traffic is heavy, and that is something we're going to have to sort out a little bit more. I think I did solve a few issues already, but I don't think all of it's recorded. Like, not all of what I did today was even recorded, because it's just, there's some bits that we skipped through, some traffic management stuff that usually when sped up doesn't even look that good. So, or I just forgot to hit record. So there's some extra stuff that we might jump forward here and there, but we'll see how we go. And I also have to keep making sure that I have more power and garbage and all that, all the services, because we're adding so much through here. And it's actually just really nice to start finishing off this area that we've had in the city for so long. Like, we've had all these roads here and it kind of just ended for so long. So it's nice to sort of build this up. And I've been saying this again for a few episodes as well, is like once this is built up, then we can sort of move on to like other little areas. I kind of just want to polish off this whole section, with trees and public transport, bike lanes, which, by the way, we do a bunch of new bike lanes as well. We added more tram stops. We don't like build more tram line, but we sort of just add stops into the line we built last time. So it's actually useful, and there's a whole bunch of people using it, and it's great, and I'm really happy about it. And then we probably need to look into, because we did the bike lanes and all that as well, which you'll see coming up later in this episode. But I'm thinking maybe we should probably get some buses going around in some places as well. I think we kind of need to sort of step back and have a look at everything we've got and see how we go. But yeah, so the zoning actually ends up working really well for a lot of this. It's all pretty balanced. We haven't added any more industrial, but we've added a bunch of like offices in that, which I'm hoping is okay, because our education in the city is pretty good. So it shouldn't really be a problem, but we'll see how we go. In this case, anyway, we didn't really have anywhere to add in new industrial, and I didn't really want to start doing that right now anyway. So this is mostly residential and commercial zoning for a lot of this, and then obviously city services and parks and all that. And we do actually turn the tram island and I'm calling it Tram Island. But the island that the tram went across, where we sort of did the tunnel, suggested that you guys wanted to see that turned into like a sort of a park or something. So I turned it into a nature reserve that a lot of people can go visit. And we do some camping sites there and all that. It's quite nice. It's not like fully finished. And also I don't really know exactly how it works in the game, because there are citizens that can sort of sneak by it, which we'll have a look at later, and I don't know if they're paying the ticket price or not. So I don't know if they're sneaking into the nature reserve or not. But anyway, so this little area here, we've got another. Was that like a medical center that I put in there? Or is that, I can't remember what I put there. Something that I think it is a little medical clinic thing that I put in there, and then we just got this key coming around here because I was quite hilly, so I thought it actually looked a little bit nicer with this along the edge here, and then that sort of inspired me to put in a little bike path that goes around it as well, because it seems like just something that it should have on top of it. I really wish keys just had a pathway built into it, and then you could just connect to it if you wanted, rather than having to like manually put stuff over it. I'm not sure when we do that. I think we do that a little bit later when I start going, because I realized they built up all this area, and then I'm like, oh crap, I probably should have continued all the bike lane stuff, because we do have so many people. You can see already so many people going around on foot and on bikes on all these roads, and these roads are so small as well. Like especially these tiny little one-lane roads. Oh no, I keep calling them one-lane roads. These tiny little like one-tile roads. And I think having dedicated like bike lanes and pedestrian paths is so much nicer. It gives them more room, and they also prefer to use it. So it's actually really, really good. So then I was like, yeah, I should probably go back and do that. We also have a lot of waterfront in this. I mean, this whole city, because it's an archipelago, there's just waterfront everywhere. So it makes a really good place to just do pathways and trees and just make it really, really nice and natural, rather than having buildings always backed up to the edge of the water, which doesn't always look great. So I think that's a good way that we could get the sort of bike path incorporated. But as you can see here, doing a lot of manual placing of buildings. Like I said, we do quite a bit of that in this time lapse, which is good. And I mean, it's a perfect place to do all this sort of manually placing of buildings, because it is a little tedious, and when it's, you know, sped up, it looks good. So it's like, cool. Also, I don't think like a lot of this zoning, I think it's fine. Like, even though a lot of these buildings will sort of appear with gaps between them, I think it looks fine, especially when we go back and add in trees everywhere, all the different colored trees. I think look really, really good when we do that. Now, yeah, so this is where I start going back and doing bike paths everywhere, because I realized that we probably should have that as a way to get around. I found it odd that I didn't actually continue the bike path down to where the trams were. It seemed a little silly. So I actually redesigned a little bit of this area here, and it means that this space has turned into another little green space, and that's actually something that I want to continue focusing on probably in the next part more, or like moving forward, is more little parks and open green spaces and just fields as well, because I realized that a lot of this area isn't really parks. But we do, having said that, we do still have quite a few here anyway. But I think I want a nice, really big, like common or something, like a really big field or really big grass area somewhere. We're not going to like destroy stuff to add it in, but moving forward and planning stuff, we'll see if we can incorporate more of those. And then this bike path, I'm trying to get to go under this tram line here as well, so it sort of connects around to the new area, or, well, it's not really the new area, but a lot of the new zoning that we've just put in. The areas already existed before, but I think it's nice to sort of actually connect it all up together. So then this will connect to, like, ideally, all the bike lanes and stuff are connecting everywhere throughout the city. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I remembered halfway through this. I was like, oh crap, I really should do that. And then I'm also using it, and we're bridging across here with that main road and the tram line that we have there. And then I actually decided to slot it in between the tram and the road, because I thought that looked really cool. And then we get this really, I think it looks awesome, by the way. You get this really cool, like almost custom looking bridge of the tram tracks on the left, the bike and pedestrian path in the middle, and then like this sort of busy high density road in the on the right hand side of it. And I think it looks really, really cool. And it actually works really well, because we build up this entire area. We get so much traffic flowing through here, and a lot of people using the trams as well. Actually, this is where I realized I've forgotten to hit record, and I've built up a lot of the roads here on the larger island where we took the tram down last time. So you can see it here. I've actually extended this whole area out. You can see that tram line that we had in there last time is still there. I haven't moved that, but now I've just sort of got roads in there. So apologies for skipping forward on that. It's because I actually forgot to hit record on it. So that's why. But we do now have some zoning in there. You can see we're adding some tram stops in now. So it's actually becoming useful. Now, this island actually, I think a little bit unintentionally turned into more of a contemporary or like a modern development, which I think is okay. Like, it's got a lot more of the modern buildings. And I don't know if that's just because I forgot to put it in if I forgot to put it in the district with the district theme or what I did. I don't know what I did, but I'm not mad about it because I think it actually works quite well. It's not like overwhelmingly modern, like where we get all those bright white buildings that just don't look good. But I think it has a nice mix of the sort of more modern looking buildings. And I think it actually fits in quite well because it's like on this island. They've just bridged over there. I've got this brand new tram line going out there. And I think it actually looks pretty cool. And we'll obviously get a better look at that later on in this part as well. And then we have all these other little islands as well. And I think, I don't know, like, I know you guys are saying with some of them specific, like some of the smaller islands anyway, that we should be doing probably just like little parks and stuff on it, just green spaces. But I actually kind of liked these ones being a little bit more packed and a little bit cramped because they're kind of near all the public transport hubs and all that. Like, it's pretty close by to all that stuff. So I thought these were quite good. But as we move further and further away, we'll start leaving more of these smaller islands as like parks or just grass or whatever without developing them. But because we already had the road running straight through there, I was like, I figured I might as well just zone that up. And then this area here, you know what? Actually, I don't know if I zoned this side of the island. I know I put a road on it, as you can see, but I can't remember. Like, I know we only did a little bit here because you can see I was trying to connect to the power grid. Also, I love this area here with that main road. Then we got the quay. Then we have the tram line that's going down below and sort of underneath. And then next to that is the bike path and pedestrian path. I know it's all a little bit hard to see as we're sort of time-lapsing through all this, but we will do a quick tour at the end of this as well so we can sort of see everything that has been done in this part. But I love that area so much, and I think it looks really, really cool. Anyway, so just going through and putting some trees in already. There's a lot of tree placement. I go through and do a lot of almost like manual just tree placement everywhere because it just looks so much better than using the tree brush, honestly. Like, although having said that, I think there was a mod that you guys recommended a little while ago that was like where we could save custom tree brushes with multiple different trees in it that looked quite good. That worked quite well, so I'll have to look into that again. Speaking about it right now, I just remembered it because anyway, so I was placing a bunch of trees in there, and we did get a big hospital because I don't even know if we have a larger hospital anywhere in this map. I'm not really sure. Anyway, it was at this point where I kept remembering. I was like, okay, I should probably do more bike paths. Also, I'm not sure why, but you can see that originally the bike path kind of just stopped, and I was like, well, why wouldn't I just continue this along with the tram and the road? So it sort of continues all the way down the middle and joins up, and we do have that tiny little crossing, that little road that sort of goes across the tram track right next to the main road, has this tiny intersection. Actually working okay because we had to do some junction settings on that so cars could flow through. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, but it actually seems to be okay, so it didn't seem to be too much of an issue. And then this area, we're just getting some nice commercial and like offices through here. I tried to do a nice balance and arrangement of offices near residential rather than, you know, commercial right next to residential areas, because offices are obviously quieter. It's not as loud for residents. So I try to pay attention to that as we were doing it and working through it. So hopefully most of the new stuff that we added isn't too noisy. But having said that as well, we do have that big hospital right there, which hopefully they'll be okay with. And I just placed I placed that pier there because that fire station I put in wasn't getting any power. So I chucked that in there as well. And then just zoning up more of this island, really. Like I said, we're really trying to go and trying to zone up more of the city, just get more people moving in, more residents, just building it up, because we've been doing a lot of, and I don't mind it. I would love to just continue spending episodes building a tram line for like 30 minutes. But at some point, I feel like we do need to kind of progress and get more citizens to actually be able to have this stuff be useful. So that's why we're doing this today. And I hope you guys will appreciate that, you know, we're trying to get a little bit of a move on, especially with the fewer episodes as regularly at the moment. But yeah, I've been very busy lately because I've been doing a lot of travel. I don't know if you guys know, but I went away to Germany to Gamescom recently, where I played Planet Zoo, and I live streamed it from there. If you haven't seen me play Planet Zoo, I actually have a bunch of videos on it, and I'll link that down below. And if you don't know what Planet Zoo is, if you guys remember Planet Coaster, it's that, but with animals and a zoo. So like Zoo Tycoon. Anyway, so I played that, and I actually did a video of that on my other channel, and I did 3 live streams, which I've also uploaded to my live stream channel. And if you didn't know I had like 2 other channels, well, now you do. Anyway, so if you're interested in seeing that, they were up and posted. And soon I'm going away to TwitchCon, so I'm working towards that. And you know, it's busy, and I apologize, but we need to get back into a good habit and a good schedule of posting more city skylines, because I love this game. And I feel like we just got to catch up. We've been lagging behind, you know, and I don't feel okay about that, and I apologize. But that's why today it's a 30-minute time lapse, baby, of just building content, of just building stuff and expanding the city. I did actually a lot of bike lanes on roads originally when I was when I was adding in all these bike lanes, and then I was like, you know what, I don't really like the bike lanes on the roads, because I don't know, I didn't really like the idea of all the people riding right next to the traffic. Anyway, originally, so you can see now it sort of starts off with a lot of on-road bike lanes, but then as we keep moving through the time lapse, I keep like moving them off the road, and I'm connecting it up to the existing sort of bike lanes as well. Like there's some on the road there as well, but anyway, so we're sort of connecting that up, making sure now that I have a good network of pedestrian paths and bike lanes throughout the city. And I think it's actually all connecting up pretty well. Like I'm pretty happy with this. So this area, I'm also trying to be a little bit conscious, because we have all those train tracks there that go to the central station, which I did mention last time. I wanted to move those train tracks underground. And I do want to do that. We just haven't sort of got over that area yet. I know we planned out a lot of the downtown section, but I almost feel like I want to get some more buildings and all that kind of stuff to sort of finish that off a bit more. So I was kind of trying to leave a bit of space there. But anyway, I should probably talk about what we're doing right now, which is turning that island with the tram tunnel into a nature reserve, so that, you know, people can go there, and it's like an actual nature reserve thing here. Though the problem with it, and I mentioned it earlier, I touched on it earlier when I was talking about it, is putting in these gates. So I put in these gates, but the problem with it is that because we have the tram line there, people can walk on the tram line to enter the park without having to go through the gates. And I have never been sure, and I feel like you guys have told me that so many times, but I've never been sure, like, do citizens physically have to walk through the gate to count as like giving you money? Or if they're just in the zone, would they give you money if they're using something? I don't know how it works, because if that's the case, we're gonna have to redesign how they enter the park. We'll probably have to get like a road that sort of comes across the tram line, because the problem is they just walk down the tram line and excuse me, they walk down the tram line and they just bypass the gates. And I was just so much like, oh, it was just so disappointing. I just went flat. I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, so like I did little crossings there, because I even put that gate behind the tram track. So I guess what I would need to do is move the main gate on the other side of the tram track. Although they could still walk across the tram track to get the other side. I don't know. We might just need to replan the entrance a little bit to stop them doing that, if it is a problem. I mean, if it's not a problem, I don't really care, but I'd rather it work properly than all the citizens just skipping past the ticket and just walking in. Yeah, so this side of the tram line and the island, all like this nature reserve, and we do like a little camping site over there as well. And it's looking quite good. I was quite happy with it. I want to expand on it more and add more stuff in, but we have to level up the nature reserve first, because it's only level 1, so we don't really have anything unlocked. We might have to build other nature reserves somewhere in the map just so we can sort of level those up and get more things. The other thing is you can see that pathway. I sort of dragged it right up to the tram line, which means that they could actually, that's how they were sort of walking in, because they'd walk in on the tram line, walk onto the path and just get in the park. And I'm like, oh. I was like, oh, that's real disappointing. However, the nature reserve does attract a lot of citizens to the area. Like you can see the tram here. Like, look how many people are walking now. And you can see there's people walking across the bridge, and then they're walking across the tram track too. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. But yeah, look how many people are around this area now. I was like so happy with how much this came to life. And you can see we've got all this traffic coming through the area now too. And it was just, I was very, very happy with it, because it meant that all the stuff we did last time, even though it took us quite a while just to sort of plan it out and figure out where the tram line was going to go, I think it's so worth it, and it's all sort of coming together. And it's coming together quicker than I thought, just because I didn't know that I was going to do a 30-minute time lapse. But because I did, I'm really, really happy with the progress. And this is only part of it. We're still going. We still got like another 11 and a half minutes of stuff that we're doing and building and expanding upon in this whole area. It's just building all this kind of stuff. And we kept having garbage issues. I think we need to like, I don't know, we almost need like a, well, actually, no, you know what we need to do? Not garbage. Well, garbage we need a good solution for too. But I was going to say power and electricity, we always have issues with those, and we've never had, I don't think I really show it much, because every time I add a new power plant, I think it's usually off camera. And the reason I do that is because it's really lame and I'm just plonking them down on the side of the map. So we need to build like a proper power plant area, because it's real bad. It's real, and it's not just real bad, it's real sad. It's a really sad setup we got. It's just a bunch of like geothermal plants that are placed off to the side, and they don't look good. So if you have any suggestions of what we should do for the power plant, obviously I think you guys said a lot of, well, actually you guys said, I believe, because Sweden does burn some garbage. It burns garbage that I think you guys said it burns garbage that it couldn't recycle, but there's a lot of recycling and all that. And that is good. That's a way to get power. But then I'm not sure what else we should do. I guess we can just do a bunch of solar. We could do more geothermal. But I mean, also, we're not rebuilding Sweden here. If we're doing that, we're doing a pretty poor job of that. But obviously, because this is a map based off a location in Sweden, we are taking some inspiration and ideas from that. So do let me know in the comments down below what we should do about the sort of power plant and all that kind of situation, because it's a mess at the moment. It just doesn't, I just don't show it ever. I think we've seen it a few times, but if you think about it, you'll probably be like, oh yeah, you know what, we haven't really done anything with that. So I'm even zoning in this whole area here alongside the rail line, and that's what I was saying before. I was trying to stay conscious of leaving room for the rail line, because I think I'm gonna go through and double track the rails at some point. I probably should start doing that sooner rather than later, because it's just kind of nuts how many platforms that main station has, and we only have like one rail leaving it. I mean, we have a couple. We have one going out the other way now too, but we should probably try and get a few more rails in that area. And I guess that'll probably be something I do, I don't know, if not next episode, in the near future, is moving all those rail lines underground, and then also probably double tracking at least the one heading back down through the city that we've already built, which kind of wish I did that earlier now, because it'll be a little bit of a challenge to get it all to fit, but that's okay. So this little island here I thought was kind of cool. There's a bunch of parks, and then like a little elementary school, and then a couple of little houses, so it's not too busy. But yeah, you can see this new, that large main island that we've got there is actually all quite contemporary and quite modern. And even some of this area here, because that we just zoned is as well, is just because of that whole Rico and me removing the level 1 buildings from the European theme, which is my bad. You know, that's a whole thing. But I think it's okay. Like, I think it's an okay mix of the sort of European style and now the more contemporary expansion of the city, which I'm quite happy with. I think it looks pretty good. So here is also where we are doing more of the bike lanes, and I was keeping that an important component of all of this as well, like we were talking about before. And you can see we've got all these bike lane roads everywhere, and I was like, you know what, I'm not feeling these. I want to take the bikes off this road. I want to sort of remove them away from the traffic flow, because there's so much traffic, it seems a little bit dangerous almost, because it is such a small road. I mean, it'd be fine. It's very common to have bike lanes on roads, but you know, I thought, if we're designing a new area, why not just build it off the road if we can? Like, it seems silly not to. So we did. Obviously, they all just have like level crossings on the road, so they still have to cross the road anyway. But, you know, it works well. There's a bunch of people using it. The bike lane goes straight through this area and it connects up to all the other sections as well. This one as well, I decided to remove all the bike lanes off that because eventually that road there will join to the downtown, so it will probably get quite busy as well. So I think it's good to have it all separated out. And I love these waterfront areas here where it's just now green space and it's got all the bike lanes on it. We'll have to do some more parks, I think, like some more like city parks or something along the waterfront and actually add like cafes and gazebos and stuff in just to sort of, because it seems like they're really good spots for it. And I think we could just like level it up and make citizens happy if there's just more parks anyway. So I think that'll be a nice fun little addition that we can sort of chuck a few more things in and make the waterfront a little bit more interactive and useful for everyone, that they can actually go there. And then I'm just trying to sort of fill out this area here. And I think now, what are we doing? I think I just go through and do a lot of trees. I'm not sure how much more zoning I do after this or how much more building I do, but a lot of trees are being placed because it looks so much better when you get all these trees in. Actually, I think I do more bike lane work as well, actually. When you get all these trees in, like all the green ones and then the yellows and the oranges and all the sort of autumn trees, it just looks so good. And it really makes it feel full and lush too. Especially like, because you have these empty grass areas, but when you start detailing them, ooh, mwah, beautiful. And then, a little skate park here as well. Well, I say a little skate park, it's a freaking massive skate park. Brand new too. They should be happy about that. And then, yeah, with all this, it just really, I think it really comes to life. I love seeing so much traffic and so many people like walking and cycling throughout the city. It's so good. And I really like this city just because there's so few large roads. Like almost, I would probably say like 95% of the roads throughout this whole like city area are just like the one lane either direction. Like there's only a handful of 4-lane roads that we have. And I don't think we have any. Do we have any 6-lane roads in this city? I can't remember. I don't think so. Not that I can remember, but we don't like, we have some 4-lane roads, but not a lot. Like I really like it, and it all works so well. Like occasionally we get a little bit of traffic back up, but as soon as I see that, we can usually find a way to like plan around it and sort it out a bit more. And I did a little bit of that we didn't see in the recording. And actually, probably after all this, maybe next episode or something, there'll probably be some traffic issues somewhere that we might have to look at. But for the most part, it's really good. And I'm so happy with it. So, yeah, we got this bike lane here. Actually, we had the bike lanes, which you'll see in a second, that join from the rest of the city that are over the other side. That I was like, you know what, these probably should connect through to the new ones, which I think I'm trying to do now. Or like, oh no, so actually we're working on this area because this area here for the longest, this has been empty for so long. Like when did we do that cargo train station? Like so long ago. And this little area here has had nothing in it for the longest time either. So that's why I sort of come back here and did a few buildings. I don't know if I did a huge amount here, but it's sort of zoning along this road here. And adding a little pedestrian path as well so people can get through to the other side, just to cross over to get to the shops and all that. And yeah, because this road, not particularly busy with cars. I mean, there's a few coming and going, but there's actually a surprising amount of people walking down this road, or cycling, I'm not sure, but a lot of people walking down here because it connects to the downtown area, and for some reason they seem to love it. But I guess that's also another reason that we should probably get an actual bike lane down there. And I think we were talking about that at the time when I built that. And I think I built that in one of the pre-recorded videos when I went away once before, whenever that was. And I think I was talking about that. I was like, we should probably change this into like a bike lane road or something. Although I don't mind it being a road, but I think maybe we should get like a pedestrian path or bike lane alongside it. However, having said that, we do get one that goes under the highway and goes to the other side. So I guess maybe they can just use that one that will go down, and we'll pull that into the downtown. I thought this was kind of cool. I sort of put one of these little commercial buildings underneath the highway. I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool to tuck some buildings underneath. Like they'd probably be pretty gross buildings, less than ideal to actually work in or visit, because they're just tucked under a freaking highway. But I sometimes think it looks really cool. And so I sort of adjusted all this highway. Then I realized, I was like, you know what? Now that we've like raised up this whole highway section, I can actually get like a road under here. I was going to originally do a road underneath, and I was like, you know what? Hang on. I don't want another road crossing down here. We don't need it. We don't need to pull traffic down to this area. But I was like, you know what? There's a lot of people walking down here, a lot of people cycling. Having a connection to the other side for people would actually be super beneficial. So we sort of did this and we came up here. I realized how hilly it was too. So I had to like sort of curve up and around, and I neatened it up a bit because at the moment it's really messy. We just got this big curve. It's a bit strange. So you can see I'm sort of neatening it up and making it look a little bit more respectable. It comes up and crosses this train line, which this is the train line I was saying about. I probably want to end up double tracking this. So we'll probably have to change this footpath a little bit. But for the most part, I think it's a really good connection. So it comes up and over, joins down to the other side. And then I was like, okay, that's when I realized like, oh, you know what? Let me join this to the rest of the network of like bike paths, because it seems really, really silly not to. So we extended this one down as well, getting a few of these buildings out of the way and getting it to come through and just giving it a dedicated path just off the roads. I don't know, like those one tile roads are really, really good, but I feel like those pathways are tiny. Like trying to like cycle on those or even just walk on those seem difficult. Like you see the citizens walking on it and half of them walk on the road because there's not enough room. So I was like, I think it's probably good that we do like dedicated bike paths all around. So I was quite happy with that. So we sort of had that come around, and then this actually starts getting used a lot. You can already see there's a bunch of people going over the other side, but then I added more connections on the other side to make it even more useful and join it to the rest of the bike path. And we do another bike overpass, like a bike path bridge as well. So we connect it down here to the other one, comes around the back of all those houses alongside this sort of train line where it's like mostly like grass and parks and all that, which would be really nice. And then do one more connection because I was like, okay, we've got this area here. It's a little bit of an industrial area. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get a little bridge and it's going to come down here because I imagine this bike path here, this is the one that's going to connect to downtown, I think. It's going to come down here. You can see it's already bridging across. It's going to head down that way. It might not be the most efficient one. We'll sort of reassess it when I zoom out and have a look at it all. But that was kind of the original plan. But for now, there's so many people using it anyway that I was really, really happy with the result of it. And then I'm sort of playing around with a few buildings and all to fit in here, make it like nice and neat. Got the recycle center there. But that is it for the time lapse. It was a big one. Thank you for watching. Let's actually just jump into the live game now to have a look at it all a little bit closer. Okay, so this is what it all looks like now. So this whole area here down this part of the city has been filled in. All along the side here, pretty much all the way up to this point, all through here, these islands around there, all down here, and this large island here as well. So basically this section, and actually a little bit over here too, has now been filled in, and I think it looks really, really good. And this is what I was saying about this island also being a little bit more contemporary. There's actually a mix of these older European buildings, and then we've got this actually fancy new modern building there, which I actually really like. I think it's somehow got a perfect blend. Like by accident, didn't mean to do that. I mean, ideally, I was trying to do it all just European buildings, but it's got a good blend, and I'm actually really happy with it. I'm tempted to go through and select these as all being historical buildings so they don't change, because I'm pretty happy with that. And like this area down here, look at this road. I think this is epic. I love it with the trams here. It's a really smooth road. It's really nice and open as well. These buildings under this road, the tram line there, bunch of people waiting to use it. And that sort of just comes around this way over to the nature reserve, which, I mean, the nature reserve is a little bland. Like I said, we do actually need to work. And I kind of just put a few things in here to get it started. That just straight up looks like a fire rather than an actual campsite. But yeah, anyway, it's a work in progress. So that's where that'll go. And then, yeah, I'm really, really happy with this. And we got like these little islands over here. And then all the bike paths here as well. This is the one that we just built right at the end. So actually, if we have a look at it, so we got the main city bike paths that we've already built that came down here. And then that sort of joins down to this road. And I'm thinking, well, because we got the other extension over this way. I'm wondering, we probably should get, if we could, if we could do a bridge, probably from this point, it maybe comes over and runs alongside the highway. Oh, it gets a little dicey through here though. I don't know where we'd take it. But yeah, anyway, so then this one at the moment, like it's not ideal. I think maybe like so if you wanted to go from here, you'd have to cycle this way like this, go underneath, cross, come over this way through here, under there, up over here, down this way, then that way, and then connect down to the city. We'll get a better, more streamlined way, but anyway, it all connects through there. And then one of my favorite areas is this like bridge, the pedestrians. Like, I love how wide this is. Like, it's wide, but it's so dense. Like, it's not like one big wide road, because we've got 4 lanes of traffic over here, the pedestrian path here, and then the trams here as well. And I love when you see the tram running across it too, like with all the people, with all the traffic. Comes down this way. Actually, this was that little road I was talking about earlier, where it's actually not really causing too many issues, so I'm quite happy about that. And then this is the other area that I really love. So I've made sure it connects through with the pass. Actually, I need to neaten that up. It seems I've got a little bit messy at some point. And so we got this road that goes up and over and around, and then the tram track that sort of, I guess, kind of stays down, like sort of ducks down. We kind of dug it down a bit. I know we did this last time, but still, I think now that it's all built up, I'm so happy with it. I think it looks sick. It's so good. And I love this pedestrian path, like alongside the tram. Like, even though they could walk on these tram paths, I think just widening it up a bit looks really good. I don't know. I'm personally really pleased with it. I don't know if you can tell, and I hope you are too. Like I said, we haven't actually done this little bit here yet, but that obviously remains to be completed. And we have a few modern buildings through here, which I think, like right now, I'm actually quite happy with that. It's kind of like a little modern section of the city, and then we'll probably get a bit more modern down here as well. I think in this area here might be a bit more modern, and then this is like the old town, and then I think even over this section here too, near the station over this way, might be a bit more modern. So I think we're going to get a good, we're starting to get a good blend now. This bit accidentally blending, but I think it's a good blend. And then we got this pathway here as well, which I really, really like, coming along the sort of river here. Well, it's not really, is it really a river? Would that be considered a river? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of just a big body of water. Is it an ocean? I don't know. I mean, it's an archipelago. I don't know what the body of water in between is called. Anyway, I'm really happy with this. That's what it all looks like in here. And then we got this pathway. Oh, look at this. Look how many people are using this one, though. How good is that? Comes up here, and then I sort of put it on top of the quay here, and it comes around. They love it. Absolutely love it. It sort of connects up the whole area. And this goes out over here. I don't know. Did we see this bit? I don't remember. There was so much time lapse. But it comes out to this tiny little island. I love these little houses here. And then they've got like this high density bit here with a statue in the middle. I don't know. That might be a little bit out of place, but I kind of liked it anyway. So that's why I did it. And then this island has a water tower on it because, I don't know, it just does. Yeah, that's that though. Actually, let's have a look at the traffic, see if we've got any issues cropping up. It is very like red. This is pretty bad. You know, this area has gotten pretty bad with this roundabout, this roundabout, this roundabout. Because pretty much I think most of this traffic comes here and then just goes here. There needs to be a better way to do that. But having said that, like, I mean, there's traffic, but it does keep moving. It's like it's not building up forever. This one's a little rough too. I don't know. There's a few things that we can do to optimize it. But the good news is most of this area here and this area here is not going to get heavier than it already is. Although, actually, this might, because we'll be building over here. We should probably add another connection. I was actually thinking of probably here, when we sort of move these underground, maybe continuing a highway, just a smaller highway or like a express road that comes around this way over to this part, just so that they don't have to all jump off around here and try to get over that way. So we have another way to get through, just so it continues a bit further, because otherwise then all the traffic would probably jump off here, which a lot of them are doing right now, and then they're trying to get through this way. So yeah, we'll give them another route. I think for now, it's good. I'm so happy with this. I'm so happy how the city is turning out. Oh, it is good. Actually, I wonder if we can probably expand this campus at some point soon. Oh yeah, we got plenty of students now. Look at this. We got 2,700 students in here. We just need to make it a little bit more attractive. We got plenty of academic works. Yeah, we got 2,700 out of 3,400 students. We can definitely build that up a bit more. Cool. All right. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time, and have an awesome day.